IG's turn to ban.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the Sina Cup second season. This is game 2 of a best of 3 LGD.int versus Invictus Gaming. I'm Basecap here providing coverage on behalf of BTS, and joining me is Winter for the second game.
LGD International's turn to ban.
If Winter is here. Maybe he's not. Okay. Okay, Winter needs a little bit of time, so we're just gonna get ourselves underway with the draft, and he'll pop in when he's ready. So I think he's sneaking in some food, but anyway. So IG gonna ban out the Crystal Maiden and the Venomancer this time around. LGD.int do have another style of play which isn't necessarily as farmy. We have seen in the past them successfully use aggressive ganking roaming supports in the early game, and in that way, by winning sort of 4v5 for 20-25 minutes, Black becomes huge because the enemy team just can't deal with him. They don't have time to dedicate any resources to him, and in that way they do sometimes win out. So not too surprising to see the Crystal Maiden banned out, and Venomancer has kind of become a staple. We will see this time around, however, LGD.int choosing to ban out the Timbersaw. So Visage is going to make it through, as is the Clockwork,
LGD International's turn to pick.
But IG just going to first pick up the Visage. LGD.int, if they wanted to, I suppose they could take the Clockwork and the Rubik here. So your sort of easier support response to the Clockwork would be off the table. They are on the dire side this time around, so offlane a little bit less safe, but Clockwork should still do alright. One thing to keep in mind, because the Visage has been taken, is that they have to make sure that either IG can't run an aggressive tri-lane because the threat of roam or the 1v1 matchups would be unfavorable, or that their tri-lane needs to be stronger than what IG have. But already with the Visage on the table, you have to go for some pretty niche picks to get a much more potent tri-lane out. So LGD.int, there might be a debate about whether or not they want their profit, but I worry about going for the profit here, just because it's not a particularly strong 1v1 hero, and that would open things up for IG to go for the aggro try.
IG's turn to pick.
But LGD.int just gonna go for the Clockwork and the Rubik, so nothing too surprising just yet, and we'll see where IG are going to take it. This might be a game for YYF Bristleback, perhaps. There's definitely some more early game strategies that teams have been running recently. We've seen the Pugna work to great success. We've seen still some Chen sort of old school push strats working out fantastically. And I would say the Bristleback is starting to fall into that category as well. We saw some European teams running it recently. They were doing the Dazzle, Abaddon, Bristleback, and I think there was a Slardar in there as well. So that was one strat that some teams have been doing. And we've also seen IG running a little bit of Bristleback from time to time. And I hear a click, so maybe Winter is back?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been listening to your point about
what
the Bristleback.
What do you agree? Do you agree or disagree?
I feel that the Bristleback is really good in certain scenarios where he's allowed to deal a lot of damage from his Q sprays, where against a certain lineup where you don't have too much of a burst damage and the damage comes over time. Something, for example, is like a Vino. So he'll be able to be really strong in those type of situations. And for IG, they've always been doing the same thing for their Bristleback. It's like very similar to their Viper. He rushes a mech as soon as possible to join the team to fight. It's really, really weird. I think they are the only teams that do it. Like, they don't farm as much as other teams on those heroes. They're just particular about getting the mech early on those type of heroes, and they're just going to be the mid shield early on for their team. The Bristleback and the Viper is mostly similar.
Yeah, so we talk about Bristleback and Viper in this role.
One
hero that we haven't really seen anything from is I would say Necrolite. Do you think that he's similar in any ways, or is it just not viable at the moment?
I think LGD China have been using him like quite some games. I saw them play that hero. But it was like a position 1 carry. That hero needs way a lot more farm than Viper and Bristleback. He's a bit more farm orientated, but I would argue to a certain extent that he's actually similar in the sense of getting a mech early in that role. Well, you could play him something like that, but he needs more farm.
Yeah, it's like
10 seconds
Biomech and
remaining.
5-man, but he's not quite as naturally tanky as the other
5
two that we've
seconds
talked
remaining.
Yeah, but Necrolite is still beneficial to your team
Reserve
in the sense
time.
that if you want to run those sort of lineup, apart from the mecha, he has a natural healing spell, so that will also be really helpful if you want to be all in pushing.
IG's
So
turn to ban.
Yeah, so IG just going back for the Alchemist here, so it looks like just kind of picking up their
LGD
supports
International's turn
early on.
to
I think we've
ban.
talked enough about Alchemist. This can be a game where we don't have to talk about, oh, look
IG's
how many
turn to
roles the
pick.
Alchemist can fill and things like that. There's more interesting things to talk about. LGD.int, they've banned out a Weaver and a Razor. They've set up their Lifestealer fairly well here. IG just getting rid of the Prophet and the Clinks, but this seems like a fairly well-positioned Nakes to me. There's already supports on the table, so you can't go Shadow Demon and Bane and deal with him very easily that way. And they've got rid of a lot of the core heroes
10
that can be
seconds
really
remaining.
frustrating for him. So maybe IG go back and consider
Right.
the
I
Viper
think
or the
maybe
Bat. Yeah.
yeah, Viper or the Bat Rider would be ideal to deal with the Lifestealer.
Reserve
But as you
time.
mentioned, there are a lot of supports that deal with Lifestealer really well, which IG are not in a very good position to pick. For example, the Bane, the Naga Siren, because they're gonna most likely run the Alchemist as a support unless they want to do it otherwise.
Yeah, but then you've got a core Alchemist against a Lifestealer, which isn't the best thing, I would say. Especially when you've got a core melee DPS against the Clockwork as well, you could be in for hard time. So I think, like you said, we're probably expecting this guy just to be
10 seconds
just a support.
remaining.
And IG don't have a whole lot of time left.
LGD
but I'm gonna end up going for the
International's turn
Darkseer.
to pick.
That hero has been long lost and found.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of... The story of Darkseer is interesting, right? Because for a long, long time, he wasn't really changed that much. And then he becomes first pick ban for over a year, I would say. And now with just a couple more nerfs to Vacuum's cooldown and some buffs to
10
other heroes as
seconds
well, which
remaining.
we're talking about, and the changes to the laning structure, we haven't been seeing him in
5
quite so much. I
seconds
think he's still
remaining.
solid, but
the main
how do you feel
the
about
main
it here?
thing I think the main thing that changed a
Reserve
lot of
time.
the reason why Darkseer was big, number one was the offlane. He was one of the few heroes that could get
IG's
farm from the
turn to
offlane,
pick.
either by iron sharing the creeps or just running to the jungle from the start, from the get-go. But since the offlane has been like the easier lane now, you see Clockwork and Timbersaw emerging so much because these two heroes are just so powerful in the offlane now, where you can just take levels easily, and you are such a huge force during the mid game with those levels as an offlane hero compared to a Darkseer. A Darkseer requires so much more levels and farm to be as
10
effective as the
seconds
Clockwork and
remaining.
Timbersaw. That's why you don't really see Darkseer anymore nowadays.
5 seconds remaining.
And LGD.int, they set up pretty well for the Lifestealer, but they've also set up fairly well for this OD, choosing to ban out the
LGD
Razors. So
International's turn to ban.
IG looks like they're just kind of going back to something fairly safe. They don't have a lot of picking time left, which is worth keeping in mind as well, but they pick up the Anti-Mage. So
IG's
we talked about how
turn to
LGD.int
ban.
aren't a particularly aggressive lineup, but do you want to try and out-farm them here?
Yeah, you can, because LGD has fighting heroes like the Clockwork and the Lifestealer, so you want to be
LGD
able to
International's
use the
turn to
time where
pick.
the Lifestealer is infested in the Clockwork or anything like that to be able to speed push and farm really quickly and take advantage of the fact that LGD has to group up and fight. So having the anti-mage in this situation is sort of a good alternative to deal with the fighting power that's coming out from LGD.
Yeah, so I feel that there's no two ways about it. I think this Anti-Mage at some point in this game probably needs to pick up a
remaining.
BKB. My question, Winter, is when does he buy the
Definitely
BKB?
needs the BKB
IG's
against the
turn
AA.
to pick.
Yeah. So you think he's hoping to get it like third, fourth, and then participate in fights, or do you think LGD are going to be able to
could
force him
be-
to buy it earlier?
Could be really late. He could get a Battle Fury and Vlads and go for BKB after that, or he can even go for it later. Because as I see LGD heroes right now, they only have a lift to kill him. What else do they have? Like the
10
Clockwork Hook
seconds
and the Battery
remaining.
Assault are not very reliable. So apart from the OD
5
getting a
seconds
Hex, they don't actually
remaining.
have a stun to kill the AM. And the Lifestealer getting a Basher. So before those stuff happens, the anti-mage is very mobile.
Yeah, and IG, all of the late game is on the Anti-Mage with this final pickup. They've gone for the Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
two ganking cores with the Darkseer and the Beastmaster, ganking and fighting cores, and supports that are able to defend lanes with the Acid and the Familiar Speed Push. So they have a lineup which complements the anti-mage very well, I would say. They are able to speed push and get pickoffs, and the Hawk would be really good to scout out where the heroes are, and the AM could just proceed to make a good and better decision of where he should speed push with the intel of the Hawk giving to the IG team.
Yeah, I do really like the pickup, and vision is so important. You know, just in this patch in general, you know, we've got
10
less wards, they
seconds
last
remaining.
longer, but having that intel as to where the enemy team
5
is super
seconds
important. And
remaining.
I was actually expecting to see maybe a little bit more Beastmaster in the patch, especially with the changes to Roshan. Having that consistent scouting can be pretty important. But yeah, looking forward to seeing it played this game. So guys, welcome back. This is game
Prepare
2. It's a
for
best of
battle.
3. IG versus LGD.int, and IG are currently leading 1-0. So over on that side, we're going to have Ferrari 430 handling your Beastmaster. Looks like he's heading towards mid. Faith is going to be on your Visage. Banana on the Alchemist. We've got YYF on your offlane Darkseer, and that leaves, I guess, their hope for this game, how he's going to be on the Anti-Mage.
And for the Dire side, we have LGD International Brax on the offlane Clockwork. We have CTY the Stand-in on the Outworld Devourer, Misery on the Rubik, Black on the Lifestealer, and we have Freedom on the Ancient Apparition.
So how do you
What do
feel
you-
about this AA?
No stunts, not my... it's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, we did see it used to great effect recently by Speed
Ah,
Gaming.
seconds
but-
to
Long range
battle.
artillery, they said.
Yeah, that was the what was coined by the BTS guys. So it was what Clockwork and AA, and they had a little bit of extra spam thrown on top of it. But I think the big thing for Pylai in that game is he got something like a triple kill off mid, and all of a sudden got a Midas and was able to farm up a very fast Aghanim Scepter. So we'll see if Freedom can pull off a similar performance this game.
The battle begins.
Yeah, the first rune will be spawning top lane, regen rune. Not too much of a big deal, this rune, but nevertheless, if the OD can use like his Astral Imprisonment a lot and he gets low, he can pick it up since IG doesn't have vision over the rune there.
Yeah, so for IG, they're pretty much just sacrificing this Beastmaster to the OD. It's like, look, Ferrari, get your levels. We're not really expecting you to get that much farm. There might be a support Alchemist roaming in to try and help you out, but the Visage isn't the best ganking support. So I think that's pretty much it as far as this mid lane is concerned. Ferrari himself might be ganked up a little bit. Misery is just sitting on the hill right now.
Yeah, he's been there for a very long time already, just waiting and waiting for a situation where he could take advantage of. Like you've seen a lot of supports now liking to do this. My favorite part about this is if you're a CM, someone who can jungle nearby, it's gonna be extremely effective. You're not wasting too much of your time because you can jungle nearby.
Yeah, and I think that's the big reason why we've seen Misery picking up that Crystal Maiden so much, because you can be off the map and accomplishing something and still be very, very scary.
I think they might have saw the smoke. Oh no, Ferrari's gonna reveal the smoke from Misery. That was a
not
bit
what
weird.
Misery was hoping for.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's actually soaked a little bit of experience.
You
from
know
mid
what?
lane
I
as well.
actually think what he tried to do there was he saw the Alchemist plant an Observer Ward on the high ground, and so knowing that IG had vision over the regen rune, and he just saw Ferrari getting his bottle. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, as a Rubik, you want to try and smoke yourself up, hide around the cliff area, wait for the Beastmaster to come and collect the regen and chuck him on the cliff.
So, well, and Misery, he just loops around and goes right back to the same spot.
Yeah, the idea was there, but it was just a bit of unfortunate timing.
Yeah, so we'll see what he's going to get up to here. IG support just going to be camping out the 2-minute urn as well. And looks like that was also what Misery was trying to get an eye on there. So he's not going to head his way back
Radiant's
up
top
towards the top
tower
lane.
is under attack.
In the end, Beastmaster gets both runes. Gets the bottom rune, sorry, not both runes.
Yeah, Freedom's just
So-
been stacking up the small camp in the meantime here. So they're not actually going to get that much farm out of this because it wipes out the creep so quickly. But it is a great tool to have to clear out the wave.
It's not really efficient in the sense that it kills all the wave of creep so that the supports can't really level. Look at the levels of the supports now. Both are still level. Freedom has been trying to pull like for the past 2 minutes and he's still level 1. So that comes into my mind where if you have a Crystal Maiden, it's so much more different in this situation.
She could almost be level 3 at this point if
Yeah.
she's been jungling the whole time. So
You just have to have good luck on the neutral spawns, and you will be at least level 3 at this moment.
yeah, so Faith is just running pulls. Banana's kind of hanging out the bottom lane as well, but both of their supports are actually approaching level 3 right now. Ferrari, he's got an invis, so I think he's just hanging around for some astral-free experience right now. It's going to secure himself at least one last hit out of that, but pretty static game so far. Brax is also getting some pretty good levels in the off lane, which is worth mentioning. I like the way that YYF is playing top. He spots that the supports are running a whole bunch of pulls. He just says, look, I'm going to run a pull of my own. Free experience for me. So he's actually almost managed to reach level 5 here.
Yeah, almost has his Soul Ring too if he wants to go for the Soul Ring first. So it's gonna be a huge annoyance to Black. A melee hero against a Darkseer off lane and spamming Iron Shells, that's gonna be so annoying as a melee carry. You're trying to last it and you're constantly getting harassed by the Iron Shell.
Yeah, and I guess the one thing that we also didn't touch on during the draft is that the Beastmaster is one of your traditional counters to the Lifestealer. We don't see him much of late, but it's a nice thing that, you know, the Roar is always a nice thing to have against the Lifestealer. Though Misery is going to be on the lookout, trying to get his hands on that himself to try and lock down How.
Yeah, in this game there's an anti-mage means always a free blink dagger for Misery.
Oh, Brax slowed down. A little bit of body blocking going on as well by How. I don't know if he
dead.
manages to escape this. There's a Soul Assumption as well. And First Blood
That was
drawn
a
by
very
Faith.
costly death, First Blood.
You think you're in a safe position. You think, okay, I can just
Dire's
cog
middle
and
tower is under
away
attack.
I'll go. But no. Gets spotted out. Gets brought down. First Blood for the Visage. So nice start for him in terms of overall farm. And Brax just says, screw it. TP straight down towards bottom lane. Nothing else that he can really accomplish anywhere else at the moment.
Yeah, he was just trying to get that little bit of more experience and just paid for it. Like sometimes you never know when the supports are pulling or rotating, and you try to take a chance as an off laner. Sometimes it works out and sometimes you give up First Blood.
You take the gamble. Maybe you open the scoreboard and you're like, look, YYF is almost level 6. I'm sitting here at level 4. Like, I gotta get a move on.
I got the hustle up there.
Yeah, exactly. But he's gonna be all right for now. Goes through some creep shenanigans, so just trying to pull the wave back to himself and stay fairly safe. One thing that we haven't checked is Black's build, but I don't think anybody's gonna be surprised if I tell you that he's buying a Hand of Midas. So
Who would be surprised?
yeah,
Here comes a rotation.
know.
Ferrari is coming top to get Black. He saw Black on low on HP.
He considered it, but Black managed to reach level 6, and now he's healed
could
back
still
to
kill
full.
him.
They're still gonna try it. They might need a double iron shell to get the axes out. The burn damage and the right clicks are going to be enough. He manages to snatch his Midas right before he dies, so not losing too much gold.
Greed does not pay.
Yeah, not working out for him in the end. They are giving some levels to Faith mid, but looks like he's about to be the recipient of a gank here. They're gonna try and go for the lift. Misery's got boots.
Dire's
Faith,
top tower
he's still
is
underneath
under
the tower. They go for the cold feet. CTY threatens the imprison,
Radiant's
but
middle tower
not
is
able to
under
get it. I
attack.
guess the plan is you cold feet and then imprison, and if you line them up just right, you can get the stun after the imprisonment. But that imprisonment duration is enough for TP support to arrive. And
Dire's
One
top
thing as
tower
well,
is
Basket,
under
like
attack.
the build Freedom went for on the A isn't the build Paladin went for. Paladin went for Chilling Touch early on.
it's also worth mentioning that there is a nuance to the lane that Speed Gaming ran, which is Ancient Apparition plus Weaver.
Plus Weaver, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another big.
Dire's top
Yeah, it's a
tower
big strength
is
of
under
the
attack.
Ancient Apparition there. I mean, I think Chilling Touch is still good in general, and it's probably his most underappreciated skill, but not as valuable this game as it was in that Speed Gaming
I
match.
think you should always get Chilling Touch if your offlane hero is something like a Darkseer, where he has surged to get away. Your open wounds into cold feet would never proc, so having the Chilling Touch is going to do get a lot more done in the lane.
Ferrari's on the move again, but he's going to be thrown down onto the low ground by Misery. CTY turns around for the imprison,
no.
but that might cost him his life. This is a long duration stun. Ferrari comes out, drops the roar, and CTY. I don't know, it is nighttime. He might have just been able to run up onto the hill and
I think
been
the
all
better
right.
reaction to that situation was just kept on running. Right as soon as the Alchemist lobs the stun, you astral yourself and you just prepare to get raw near the tower so that your teammate can TP over. but he chose to stop the Raw and get stunned by the Alchemist, which still means that he's gonna get Rawed anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think based on the... I don't know if he necessarily knew that the Alchemist was there. I think
True.
He identified, okay, Ferrari's the most immediate threat, deal with him, and I'm home free. But yeah, IG had some backup on the way. So they're 3-0 so far, they're finding the openings, and I really like the way that Ferrari is playing this. He got his levels off mid lane. He's not going to accomplish much just sitting and trying to sit and farm against the ODs. So he lets his supports rotate in, they get their levels, and he's just off around the map, setting things up. And so far he's 2 for 2 as far as these roar ganks are concerned.
The first one was so crucial on Black. Black just bought Midas and he died right away at top lane. So that gank was very, very valuable for IG.
Yeah, and oh, LGD.int, this hurts. Just because of all the Darkseer pressure, already forced to deny this tier 1 tower top. And jungle control for them is important. They've got a lifestealer who can be sitting inside the jungle and farming while your supports are making use of the lanes, and that does make it even easier for IG to get up here into the jungle. And this is also something important for How. Even if LGD.int start to get some momentum rolling in their direction, he's now got access to at least 2 camps in the dire jungle to farm later on, which, you know, should be fairly safe.
Yeah, and the Darkseer is creating so much pressure that they have to deal with him with 2 or 3 heroes. And How is going to be... If you only send 1 hero over, you can't really take down How. You need a lot of heroes. So basically, the Darkseer is created so much pressure that How can farm so safely at the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and How just moving straight towards his Battle Fury right now. Only needs the Void Stone to go, so getting pretty close. YYF, they're looking towards him top lane. He's got the 2 points in the Surge, so the game of chicken right now is, can they get him to use the Surge?
Can't kill him.
But no. And Ferrari turns around with the Roar and Misery. The axes fly in, they drop the wall. Black eats the damage. He's going to invest into a tiny creep, but still gets enough HP to survive. So nicely done, but IG, another turnaround, and Ferrari in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he doesn't care if the creep was tiny. That creep literally saved his life.
Yeah, that. And now Black just goes straight back to farming. He's like, Roar's on cooldown, guys. I'm safe. Let's just keep getting the GPM up.
Yeah, that's the best he can do in the situation. Not to say that getting the GPM up is really, really a bad thing, but his team is just gonna be having so much trouble dealing with the Darkseer. The Darkseer is gonna be 1v3 at this point, like at top lane. The supports cannot do anything to him anymore.
And Faith has managed to snag level 6 over on mid. Banana's been setting up some stacks for How over in the jungle. Misery and Freedom looking to team up and try and get a kill mid, but Misery's only level 3. Freedom, a little bit happier. He's almost managed to reach level 6. So they will have the Ice Blast up soon to kind of deal with some of this split push, but the Boar has spotted the supports on the back lines, and Freedom's just deciding that he's going to get the 38 gold and realizing that this game's probably not going to work out.
He's
also gets
long-range artillery.
Yeah, he's taking a run up as well, heading all the way back to the fountain.
A free shot of ultimate.
Yeah. So Battle Fury's finished for How. Hardly any pressure so far from LGD.int. Black is pushed out a long way, so he's just going to be ducking into the jungle. So IG will have an idea of where he is for the next little bit. Just gone back for some treads at the moment. Ferrari is working towards an Aghanim Scepter. They've got a couple of TPs bottom lane, but it's right with the Radiant creep wave here, so there's no sneaky ganks on the anti-mage or anything happening here. It's just LGD trying to make full use of their lanes to grab a little bit of farm. And I haven't checked in on the graphs just yet, but yeah, they are a ways behind. 3k gold, 4k experience at only 11 minutes in. This is already looking pretty dangerous for LGD, and we thought that they were going to be the better lineup for the early
bottom
game.
lane.
Misery gets stunned. How jumps in. It's going to get hookshot here by Brax. They get the lift. Will he be able to save Misery? They get thrown back towards the tower. Can he get the Mana Void? Needs 2 right clicks, but Brax saves the day. And they do actually end up killing off House. So LGD get on the board, and with probably the best kill that they could have hoped for.
If he had went for power trades instead of rushing the Battle Fury, he would have gotten that kill.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even have boots yet.
Yeah, that's why some players like to go for the power trades instead of rushing the Battle Fury. Like, you don't really get the Battle Fury that late, but if there were situations like that approach, you would have gotten a kill because you had a power trades instead of an early Battle Fury.
Yeah, even if you have the Battle Fury, you're still going to be farming lane until you have your Quelling Blade and your treads. So I don't know, I don't blame Hao at all for going for this build. He secured his Battle Fury at a really good time, but yeah, he still has a little way to go before he's at full farming efficiency.
His team is just gonna create so much space for him. I think the next 5 to 6 minutes he's gonna get all his items. Like probably he'll go for the most greedy build, the offering, the power chest and to an offering, not the manta first, so he can farm so much more quicker than compared if you get a manta after the Battle Fury.
Yeah, and I don't see LGD.int really pressuring him too much to stop this farm. IG have pretty good control over their own jungle. They've still got their tier 1s up. They're very healthy as well.
They basically can't kill the AM unless the AM blinks in and tries to kill their heroes and they kill him.
Yeah, and we've actually got Ferrari right now just kind of scouting out what's going on. There's an Ice Blast being thrown in to try and steal Hao's creeps. But it's been spotted out by the Hawk, and that's not going to end up doing anything.
No hero kills for the AA this game.
Yeah. So far, not doing all that well. We do have a mech picked up for the OD. So CTY's gone for a fairly active build here, and we'll see. I guess the big question is, can they pull Black away from his farm?
Oh, there's a sentry ward here. If he walks up,
Radiant's bottom tower
his invis
is
already
under
ran up.
attack.
He's gonna wait for the 40-minute rune. Gets a haste rune on top. Well, he might be in trouble here.
What is he walking
Dire's
into?
middle tower is
Oh
under
dear,
attack.
this
Oh, there's
Hunter is
smoked
on
heroes
top.
on the hill. He goes for the imprison. The Ice Blast is flying in. He whiffs Brax, going for the cogs, bounces back Faith, but CTY gets stunned up, gets brought down. They're looking towards Brax as well. They vacuum him back into the familiar stuns. Another soul assumption, double kill for Faith. And should be a tier 1 tower as well, likely giving the last hit to Hao if they can. No.
Dire's middle
Faith is
tower
feeling
has
pretty
fallen.
greedy. He's 4-0-0 and he just got a tower last hit.
He needs his triple familiars. He'll
Dire's
carry the
middle
game.
tower is under attack.
Gotta get those stuns.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Hao is not exactly that desperate to need his farm, the tower goal. He has everything he needs to farm really quick in the jungle anyway. He's a really nice carry, sharing the
Dire's
goal
middle
he supports.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, this is the kind of carry that Winter appreciates.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Of course.
attack.
Yeah. As a support player, everybody likes getting a little bit of extra farm. Everybody wants their
And
Midas on their support.
I'm not even like joking about it. It's like
Yeah, no,
your
it's-
support gets one more item. It's a huge difference
impactful.
in a
Yeah,
fight.
it's a huge
Radiant's
difference.
bottom
And
tower
I mean, you're
is under
anti-mage. You're
attack.
gonna get great farm anyway.
Radiant
Your
structures
supports
are
opened up the
fortified.
map for you to farm and split push wherever you want. I guess the least that you can do is to give them a little bit and, you know, get some items.
LGD is just using Rocket Flare, AA ulti to steal the AM's farm in the jungle.
Are they still doing that? Okay.
Yeah, they just did. They stole the jungle with the Rocket Flare.
It's cute, but I don't know how much it's doing for them. And CTY and Misery. I don't know if this is a situation that you want to be here on bottom lane. CTY's got the haste, he's charging it on top of Faith, but they
they
might
need to
get
TP
one, they
down.
might lose both, however. Misery finishes them off, but they vacuum them back into a two-man concoction. And double kill for Ferrari.
Oh, the clockwork's late. He should have been here like ages ago.
And he actually had the Lifestealer infested for a long time. They're going to drop a cog on 2. Black pops out to say hello, but he gets roared right on top of the wall. So this cog might actually end up being a bit of a problem for him. Banana lobs the stun. Black stunned up. Pretty much from full to nothing there. Freedom gets his TP cancelled by the Mana Void. So he's trying to escape, but no running from the Hawk. So ends up being a 2 for 3 trade. They don't get the tower, and they lose Black.
Lifestealer died, so...
Yeah. Do you think it's a better fight if they have everybody there? I mean,
yeah, of course.
they were clearly ready to go all in on Faith and then have
they
backup.
were just
but-
ready to fight, take the
Dire's
fight.
bottom
Like,
tower.
they were committed
Dire's
to take the
bottom
fight
tower
all
has
the way,
fallen.
but the clockwork was nowhere to be seen. He was like at top, and they didn't even see the AM at top. The AM already teleported bottom, but the clockwork still didn't manage to teleport earlier towards bottom lane. He teleported really late.
Yeah. Okay, so Misery stole Mana Void, but I think he just used it on the boar. So
And he used it on something, not a hero.
yeah, I heard it, but I think it was just the boar. How? What's he up to here? He's
He wants
pretty
a blink.
low, but he wants the kill on YYF. Misery steals the blink. How chases after. He's got a little bit of extra health, a little bit of extra courage from that mech, but realizing that he can't really see anyone from LGD on the
Here comes
map.
the Beastmaster.
Haste, Surge Beastmaster, Misery, lifts him up into the air, he's going to be able to blink a little bit further away as well. Hookshot comes in on the backlines, Faith is in some trouble, but the Roar gets dropped on Brax this time around. Black with a little bit of free reign, nice imprisonment from CTY is going to actually be able to keep their Clockwork alive, and now Ferrari's in some trouble. Misery stole the axes, turns them around onto their owner. Ferrari trying to bottle up, but the Fade Bolt finishes him off, and IG maybe a little bit of overconfidence. I think Hao realized that, okay, maybe I don't actually want to try and kill this Rubik. I can't see anybody else on the map. So he backed off, but Ferrari got surged in. He got his Ags, and he wanted to use it, but
Yeah, they were
lose
fighting
two
at a
into the pit they
congested
go.
area as well. The Clockwork was so effective in that area.
Yeah. And despite not being on the more farm team, Misery is still gonna go back for his Midas here.
Really? On Rubik?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Hopefully he
Well.
handles the wards from here, and maybe AA picks up his Midas as well. I don't know. Banana's also gonna Midas, for anybody keeping track at home. Brax, they get the vacuum back, but it's only a one-man stun. But this Cog is actually blocking LGD.int from their targets. Banana being focused, body blocked a little bit by
Here comes the
Faith.
AA
In
ult.
comes the AA ult. It's gonna connect on YYF. He's still got a Surge, Mech's cooling down, but it's not gonna help him, and he gets lifted as he uses the Surge. Misery making the plays. They pick up the kill. Hao jumps in aggressively with the blink, but that's cooling down for a little while now. He might actually end up dropping, just barely able to escape down into the river. Ferrari being focused by Black, the Boar being a nuisance, so he's going to go back and finish that one off, but the Rage has now worn off,
Yes, Rage.
gets vacuumed back. He's got another Rage. Banana just going to have to turn tail and run. Black going for the very slow armlet toggles. The Familiar still chasing him down. They've got stuns right now, but no, actually going to end up giving up the chase, and Black just pops into a creep, pops out, and goes back to farming.
And there goes the Roshan to IG.
So even though it looked like they lost that engagement
Roshan has fallen
earlier
into the
when they got
river.
2-0'd, they get back in time just because they have such good map control. It doesn't take them that long to get back.
Look at how
Look
he's
at-
just standing there taunting them.
Yeah, and Black, nice imprisonment to waste a little bit of this duration, but Banana gets the stun out onto Brax. Black emerges, but the wall's dropped in the choke point. LGD won't be able to make it through. They lift up How. Can they bring him down? He's still got the Aegis, so he's just man-fighting regardless. Black, slowed by the Boar, finished off. IG gonna keep on charging forward. Freedom drops the ult, but it's only on YYF. We've got a buyback from Black. Gonna continue trying to fight here. How? Turning tail and running a little bit. The Familiar drops, not gonna connect. Looks like Faith is in some trouble. Gets the Grave Chill, move speed, surged as well. Just barely alive, but the Urn Charge is gonna take him back up to safety. Misery, he stole the blink. He wanted to kill with the Fade Bolt, but didn't account for the Urn health. How? Still eating right clicks from CTY, but it's only 1 point up in the orb.
Roar is
Ferrari's
gonna
got
be
another Roar in 1 second. The Familiar comes in. CTY is gonna go down. Black continuing to fight, but again the Surge gets the anti-mage away. Black is not
surge.
having the best time. He's just getting kited around in circles. Brax jumps in, gets the Cog, might be able to finish off YYF. Is going to be able to do so. Faith in the extended
Almost
fight, not brought down. Nice axes. Finish off Black, but they will get Faith at the end of the day. Freedom throws the ult, but it's just kind of flying out into the middle
It's
of
gonna
nowhere.
do nothing. Maybe scout out the AM. That was just very, very horrible. That went really horrible for LGD. They bought up the Nyx and he died again.
Yeah, and all of that farm that Black had. We do have the Midas up for the Ancient Apparition, so Freedom
So there's
got there.
3 Midas or 4 or 3. OD doesn't have one.
3 for LGD.int and 1 for IG. So 4 total.
Not the biggest number, but still, it's gonna be a lot of gold invested there, and LGD are gonna count on getting the game late so they can make use of those investments.
Yeah, it's a big investment. We'll see if they'll be able to drag things out at this point. They did manage to get rid of the Aegis in the last fight, but that's pretty much just because Hao is like, I'm just gonna sit here and fight until I die. There's no point in
He's
trying to keep it.
just saying that, what are you guys gonna do about me? I have Aegis.
Yeah. So 10k gold lead in favor of IG. It's 12k experience. We focus on the Midas, but let's jump over and talk about what other items we've got picked up. So we saw earlier Ferrari's finished up his Aghanim Scepter. So he's on the hunt for some more pickoffs. Faith has managed to finish his Ags. We've got a Manta style for Hao, which is on its way being delivered right now. And a roar in from Ferrari. Brax vacuumed back. Ice Blast comes in, but only going to clip the board there. So Brax is dead, and IG laying claim to this map, honestly. Faith has picked up a gem, throwing down some aggressive wards. And LGD.int are just sort of forced to sit back in their base and take whatever farm IG will let them have.
This is a very familiar side with LGD International. Sitting back, cannot take it, not being able to take fights and just farming with the Midas.
It has won them games. Well, okay, the Midas has won them games in the past, but those were games where they were ahead from the early game.
Yeah. They were bound to win anyway. The Midas didn't help them win.
I mean, I think it helped them close the game out safely, just because LGD.int, the one problem that they have had in the past is ending a game when they're ahead. So I think going for the Midas works out well for them if they perceive that as a problem. But the bigger problem right now is that everybody in IG has a huge amount of farm.
Black.
And there's another roar on bottom lane. Black gets jumped. They're going to drop the wall on him as well. Vacuums him back. He manages to get the rage off, but that's about it. And IG just more free pickoffs. They've got tons of vision. LGD can't really leave their base at this point.
They're just stuck. They can't even go on
They
and farm.
surge in bananas. CTY is going to be able to imprison himself, but the triple familiars are in position to stun him up as soon as he pops out, and the familiars don't even need to stun him. They're just going to burst him down. How? It's going to eat the it's going to eat the stun from the AA. But 2 down for LGD and 2 of their big cores. Bananas just chasing into the base. Force-staffs himself, gets the stun out onto Misery, who's stolen the Mana Void.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 3's already being mauled.
That spell doesn't sound as spectacular as I think.
No, not quite. Brax jumps in, gets a nice cog down, but he gets roared. The familiar stuns are here as well, and Hao blinks right over the top of the cogs, finishes him off as well. LGD.int are just walking into this fight one by one. Buyback from Brax. They've almost got their other core heroes alive, but the melee barracks is already gone. They didn't even use their fortification for this. LGD.int looks like they've kind of accepted that this game is over. But gonna go for at least one more fight. Can they bring down Banana? He doesn't have a whole lot of armor, and the Mana Void from Misery puts an end to him. The familiar stuns are on their way. 1, well, not even 2 or 3, just the 1 so far. Ferrari comes back in with the axes. Looks like the Cold Feet is gonna end up coalescing as Hao being surged around. He's got another blink in just a second, unable to focus him. Familiar stuns have been used. CTY cleaning them up for a little bit of gold, but Black chases outside of the base into a roar. He's been brought down. Misery continues to blink circles around everybody in this fight. Brax looks for the hookshot back to safety, but only takes them a couple hundred units. Another imprisonment goes out. Hao looking for more kills. Misery's very low. He might just get. There might just be a blink and a Mana Void to finish him off. There we go.
Oh,
and they get the stun as well. Oh, the wall dropped for the next time in this really prolonged team fight, and Misery with the GGGGG.
Yeah, they have a lot of trouble gelling with CTY. It's very obvious.
Yeah, they just. The coordination seemed difficult. And I saw some people actually expressing concerns because. Well, I don't actually know. LGD, I'm presuming they speak English for the most part. Do you have any insider information, Winter?
Yeah, they do. They do speak English.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. I mean, I guess that's the thing with the international squad. You have to have a language in common. I'm not sure how CTY's English is, but
he probably isn't in Skype and he's just playing the game.
Yeah, could be. They probably just needed a fifth. And
I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, I think the other thing is most of these tournaments you can't use a stand-in that's played in the tournament. So even if there was a team where they had a player eliminated earlier that they wanted to bring in, it has to be somebody who's not participating at all. I'm not 100% sure for the rules for Sina Cup, but that could be what happened here as well. But yeah, it's going to wrap it up. IG are going to take this series 2-0, so they're actually going to advance to play against LGD China in the next round of the winner bracket. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be. I'll have to check the schedule. We will be heading tomorrow to the other half of this first round, which is, if memory serves, DK versus Forlove and Hearts Get Together versus... I forget. I'll have to check. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. And I'm going to actually pass it over to Winter first so we can do shoutouts, let you guys know where you can find him, and give you his closing thoughts on the game.
I just want to wish BTS smooth sailing, finding their new home. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, they're like a hermit crab right now. They've emerged from their previous shell, and
They're looking for
Yeah.
a bigger and better shell.
yeah, looking for a bigger and better one. So all the best to them. I think God is also heading back to Australia pretty soon, so I'm going to be co-casting a LAN with him on the 7th, which should be good fun. Hopefully, he enjoys spending some time with his family and whatnot in the meantime. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I've been Basecap. He's Winter. I'm going to plug him because he refused to plug himself. So don't forget to check out Winter Dota on Facebook and Twitter. He streams fairly regularly as well, which is always a good time. I'm Basecap. If you want to leave me any feedback on my casting tonight, you can email me at basecapdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm in all the same social media places under the name of Basecap. Big thank you to all of you who tuned in this evening. We're going to be back tomorrow with more of the... And I'll actually check what that is right after we jump ourselves out of this game. So thank you guys. Hope to see you next time.